Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It is very important for you to know how to draft your basic bodice pattern correctly and in few easy steps. And we'll be doing just that today. I started by marking down my basic bodice length, which is 17.5 inches. After that, I marked down my shoulder length and I made a mark. On that mark, I went down by 3 inches for my shoulder slope. Then from my center front, I marked down my neck width, then I connected the slope to the neck width. I also marked down my neck depth. Then I made a curve using my curve rule. From my shoulder point, I went down by 10 3/4. That is my bust point. On that bust point, I marked down my bust measurement, which is 10 inches. Then for my shoulder slope, I marked down 6 inches for my armhole curve. I made a mark on my shoulder slope. I marked 2 inches on both sides of my shoulder to determine my shoulder dart. After that, I made a rule on my bust level. On my bust level from my center front, I marked out 3.5 inches as my bust span. I'll connect the shoulder darts to my bust span like so. Now I'll close the shoulder darts in order to perfect the darts. As you can see, the shoulder dart is no longer equal. I'll use my straight ruler to make it equal. Now I'll mark down my chest measurement. From my shoulder point, I'll measure down 7 inches. In order to do that, I have to open my shoulder dart. So I marked down 7 inches. Then I used my L square to square up the line to get a perfect line. The width of my chest line is 7 inches as well. Using my tracing wheel, I traced out my shoulder line. Then I connected back the lines to get a perfect shoulder dart. Moving on, I use my curve rule to achieve my armhole curve perfectly. Make sure you turn your curve to get a perfect curve. Now to the waist area, I marked out my waist measurement, which is 7.5 inches, and what I have left on my waist is 2.5 inches. I made a rule using my L square to get a perfect line. Yeah, that's the excess we have on the waist area. Now I'll use my L ruler to square down the bust span measurement down to my waist. On that bust span measurement on my waist, I will divide the excess into 2, and that will give us our dart legs on both sides. Now connect it to the bust point. And I'll close it out to make sure that the waist is perfect and it's curvy. Yes, okay, so we're good to go. Now I'm going to cut out the pattern because we're done with our basic with the front of our basic bodies. I'll cut it out and then we'll move on to the back bodies. On my back bodies, I marked down my length of 17.5 inches and width of 9 inches. Then on the shoulder part, I marked out my neck width of 2.5 and length of 1 inch. Made a smooth curve with my curve rule. Then from the center front, I marked out 8 inches for my shoulder. On that 8 inches, I came down by 2 inches for my shoulder slope. Then I connected the lines like so. For my shoulder point, I marked down my mid back level, which is 9 inches. Then on that line, I made a rule. Then on that line I marked down my bust level measurements, then I square it down to my waist. I immediately ruled out my armhole, my back armhole curve. Sorry, I did this offline because my camera went off. Here I made a mark of 2.5 inches on both sides of the shoulder. Then I came down by 3 inches on the mark closest to the armhole, and that is how I got the shoulder. That then on the back waist I did the same thing I did with the front. I measured out my original waist measurement, then I divided the SS into two, and that's how I got the that's for the waist. I'll close the shoulder, the back shoulder dart, so I can blend it in. I'll use my straight rule to blend it in like so, and use my tracing wheel to trace out the lines, and then reconnect the lines. So now we are done with our back drafts. I also close the waist dart to see that it is perfect or whether it needs any form of blending. So yeah, now that we're done, I'll cut out my pattern. Thank you very much for staying till the end of the video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, drop a comment for me below, share with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. See you in my next video. Bye.